Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'll be reading a multi-character extruder by me, so let's get into it. Tanjiro. Tanjiro would never usually say something like that. He would never be mean to you, and he would always take care of you whenever you wanted it. But those recent days, he was also kind of tired and stressed, and that reflected itself on your relationship. It wasn't your fault though. You shouldn't have to bear it. So eventually, you were sick of the distance and tension between the two of you, and decided that you had to do something about it. You had made everything special for him, preparing dinner and getting all dressed up to see him. But when he came back home, he didn't even notice. He took off his shoes, immediately going to his room to change, and when he came out, he ate dinner, merely mumbling thanks, and that was all you got. It hurt you. He didn't even notice you. So, you decided that perhaps you could fix it, being a little bit affectionate, but he pushed you away, frowning. Stop being so clingy, Mayan. I'm tired. I need to go sleep. And he left, going to his room and turning off the lights, closing the door behind you, as if you didn't exist in his life. He felt broken, staring after him, and not knowing what to do. Zenitsu. Zenitsu was usually the clingy one. She didn't expect this to happen at all. In fact, he was always over the moon whenever you were affectionate with him. But something about him was off tonight, and that's why I decided to give him a little bit more love, and perhaps that would fix whatever was wrong with him. But you were unlucky. It was the wrong choice to make, as he was not in need of your affection. In fact, he seemed to want to get away from it, pulling away from you and only wanted to get away further. He stared at you, frowning. Mayan, couldn't you see? It's been a long day for me. I'm tired. You shouldn't be so clingy, he said while he stared in disbelief. Really, Zetsu? You think that way? You? He frowned. Yeah, I do. You never leave me alone. Sometimes it's okay to give me space, alright? He snapped, telling you that I'll leave him to get away from you, leaving you alone in the living room, staring and not knowing where you went wrong. You were also mad at him and gave him the silent treatment for 3 days, until he literally had to beg you to talk to him, and he promised that he would make it up to you. Inosuke was a little bit upset, because it was the first time that you had defeated him when you trained. You should have taken it well. He shouldn't have been so grumpy, but he couldn't help it. It was just something in him. It wasn't like you could stop it immediately. And you noticed that he was upset as well, and you kind of regret training together at all. So I wanted to comfort him. You made him rice buns, since they were a favorite of his, and tried to hug him, peppering kisses all over his cheeks, but then he just shoved you away, frowning. Get away from me, Wayan. Come on, Nino. Don't be so upset. It's just fun, and I bet it's just a stroke of luck. You're always better than me. You work hard all the time. There's no way I can just win over you. And that only made him more upset. He got up. You don't have to be so clingy all the time. You know I don't like this anyway. So grow up a little, he said, storming off. And before you could even say anything, you found yourself crying. He was hurting you. when you didn't do anything wrong. So, you decided to pack up your stuff and leave him for the time being. And you would only come back around if he apologized. Which, deep inside, you hoped he would. Giyuu Tomioka. Giyuu was not affectionate by nature, and he also did not always respond well to it. But he always made sure to be gentle, slow, taking everything extremely slowly with him, not wanting him to be overwhelmed. But it just so happened that he was not in the mood for it at all. And, unlike you, he couldn't tell. So naturally, you just went around, wrapping your arms around his waist and kissing him. You just huffed, while you continued to hug him tighter. Baby, is something wrong? No. There's just no reason to be so clingy, he said, getting your arms off of him and sitting down. There's nothing wrong. I'm just not in the mood, Wayan. He didn't mean to be so mean to you, but he was, and still hurt. So, for the rest of the week, he noticed that you changed towards him, and that you were not being touchy as usual. Eventually, he would come to apologize, and he himself would initiate the touch, hugging you from behind and apologizing to you. Rengoku honestly didn't mean it in any bad way. The two of you were cuddling, and basically, he had been away at work for almost the whole last month, so it was no reason that you were being so clingy. He found it funny as you clung to him, refusing to leave him at all and cuddling him whenever he had the opportunity to. So he just laughed, hugging you close. What's wrong? Why are you so clingy now? You got worried a bit, feeling like you might get bored. You think it's too much? You know, you could just stop. No, I didn't mean it that way. I love it when you hold me, you know? I missed you too, Ayan. He smiled, letting out a relieved sigh, and hugging him tightly, burying your face into his neck. I know, I missed you too.